Yes, I have an STD. Hey guys, so as you guys can tell by the title and the intro in the beginning that I have an STD. I have an STD. When I found out that I had an STD, it was a very, very, very hard thing to swallow because you never think that it will be you or that it could be you. So when I found out that I had one, I was baffled. I was disgusted. I was ashamed. I was upset. I wanted answers. I wanted to know how. The main thing on my mind was, guy, you haven't had sex in over a year, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm not active like that. I don't go out. I don't go to clubs. I don't go to bars, you know? I don't socialize like that for me to ever have something like this. So these thoughts ran through my mind. I said to myself, the last time you had sex was literally like a year ago. Doesn't make sense, right? So I'm going to tell you guys how I found out that I had an STD. So about 2 weeks back, I got up one day, regular day. I woke up, I got in the shower. When I got out the shower, you know, I was looking in the mirror as I was brushing my teeth, and I noticed that I had all of these red spots on me, and I didn't know what they were. So I'm looking at them. They don't hurt. They didn't itch at the time. And then all of a sudden, I noticed that, well, the rash started on my chest. And it started to spread to my back, right? And I said to myself, something's not right, right? I was also getting lightheaded at times. I was also feeling a bit dizzy at certain times. These things would come and go briefly, you know, throughout the day when I would be doing strenuous work, and that's never happened before. So I knew something was right, or something wasn't right, especially when these things started to itch as well. So my initial thing to do when things out of the abnormal happen to me is search my symptoms up online, right? I'm one of those people that like to search his symptoms, and I'll diagnose myself. And I'll try to fix the issue myself before I seek help, right? So I went to Google, you know, that's my best friend, and I typed in, you know, red spots over chest or whatever or something, and a few images popped up, and one of the images that popped up was ringworm, right? And the picture they showed for ringworm looked very similar to mine. So I said, I must have ringworm then. You know, how the hell did I get ringworm? So I left work early that Thursday to go to the doctor's. And when I went to the doctor, I went to two doctors actually. The first doctor was not a good doctor at all. Basically, I went to her. I told her that I kind of pre-diagnosed myself, and that's what I came up with. And she was like, you know, you may be right. She said, what I'm going to tell you to do is go home. She said, see if the rash continues to spread. And if it does, and if it doesn't go away after a week, then call me back. What? So this is what I'm thinking in my head when she's telling me this, but I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna argue with her. Clearly she's the one in this profession. She has her degrees. She knows what she's talking about, right? Whatever. I didn't question it. So I go home and it just wasn't sitting right with me. And this is how I know it's God, because I normally don't go to the doctors. Like I've had things happen to me in the past and I have never went to the doctors for them or for it, because number one, I'm lazy, and I know it's not an excuse. I'm very lazy. When it comes to taking care of my health, I'll say I'm not lazy when, it comes to working and, being active and going to the gym and exercising and stuff. I'm not lazy in any of those aspects, but I definitely don't like taking time out of my day to take care of myself, and that's really what it comes down to when you put it all together. You don't like to take care of yourself, and that's an issue. So I'm definitely happy that God put it in my heart to go to the doctors initially, even to begin with, and then to put it in my heart to say, you know what, something doesn't feel right. I'm not just gonna settle on tell me if the rash goes away, and if the symptoms start to clear up, or if they start to spread, call me back in a week. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I'm gonna get a second opinion and see what they said. Okay. So I went to the doctor, and this time I didn't want to pre-diagnose myself in front of her. So I didn't want to tell her what I searched and what I came up with. I wanted to see what she had to say, right? Because this is your profession. So you should know what you're talking about, and I know it's not always the case. They're human beings. They don't always know what they're talking about, but do the necessary research and take the necessary steps to figure out what the issue is, right? This other doctor was very, very, very thorough and making sure that she got to everything, right? So she did mention ringworm, and she was like, no, but this can't be ringworm, right? So then she starts to feel my chest, and she feels these spots on my chest, and she's saying to myself, that's not ringworm. No, and besides, ringworm wouldn't spread this rapidly, right? You have this stuff all over your chest and on your back. That's not ringworm. And she was like, and also if you feel where the circles are centered, they're rough a little bit. There's rough patches, right? So she said, that's not ringworm. I don't know what it is. She said, but I'm going to tell you that I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure I get to the bottom of it. She said, I'm going to test you for everything. I'm testing you for HIV. I'm testing you for AIDS. I'm testing you for STDs. I'm testing you for everything. Every test that there is to run, I'm going to test you for it, because I want to make sure that we get this, and I don't want to miss anything. She's like, because this really could be anything. And I'm not trying to psych you or to make you freak out, she said, but I just want to make sure that we have everything in place before we go to the next step. I said, okay. She says, in the meantime, she said, I'm going to, she didn't prescribe me anything, but she said, I want you to go to Walmart. She said, they have this product. It's a shampoo. She said, I know. She said, just hear me out. I said, okay, I'm hearing you out. She said, they have this product called Selsun Blue. And she said, there's an ingredient in the Selsun Blue that attacks fungi. So if this is a fungi, right? She also asked me if I work out. And I said, yes, every day. I work out every day. And I sweat a lot. She said, okay, this could be a sweat rash. Still don't know. I'm still going to run all the tests just to make sure. She told me in the meantime to go to the store, Walmart, and to pick up Selsun Blue. There was an ingredient in it, get the maximum strength, and lather myself in that in the shower and let it sit on my body for a few minutes and then rinse it off. And what will start to happen if this is a fungi is that the rash will start to get lighter and lighter until it's completely gone, and then we know what the issue is until the blood work comes back. So I said, okay, all right, no problem. At this point in time, I'm not thinking, nobody thinks that they have an STD or that they're going to be told that they have an STD. So I go to Walmart, I get the Selsun Blue, I immediately go home, I get in the shower, and Man, I poured so much Selsun Blue on that rag. I mean, it was just drenched in Selsun Blue. And I lathered my whole body, filled with suds and everything. And I was like, we're going to get this today. We're going to get it. Right? So she told me that I would receive a phone call by Monday the latest. Monday rolls around. And meanwhile, I'm out of work because we don't know whether this is contagious or not. And at the job I work with, I work around a lot of people. And I work around a lot of product, food-wise. So we don't want to risk the factors of getting someone contaminated or getting someone else infected if this is a contagious rash. So Monday the latest, she tells me I'd get the call back. I said, okay, cool, that's fine. Monday comes around, I'm waiting. And at this point, I'm like, all right, come on. It's 12 o'clock, you know, you're eager to just know what it is, right? So I called and I said, hi. I said, I came in on Saturday. I said, and the doctor ran some blood work and I was just hoping to see what the results were. And she was just like, oh, you know, I will have the nurse call you back in a few minutes. 2 of the tests she took for your blood work did come back. She said, I'm going to have the nurse call you and let you know what that was. I said, okay. I hung up the phone. In my mind, I'm thinking, dude, why can't you just tell me? But whatever. So I waited. At this time, it's 6 o'clock and I'm pissed. I'm like, come on. You said Monday the latest. I'm trying to get back to work. I have bills to pay and I have a life. Now I'm getting annoyed. I'm getting really annoyed. So I called back. It was 6:30 and I said, hi. I said, I called earlier in and I spoke to the lady at the front desk and she told me that 2 of my results came back and that the nurse would call me back and let me know what those were. I never got a call though. I'm so sorry. The office is actually only open from 9 to 5. So you could call back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. I can give you the number. No, I don't want the number. At this point, I'm annoyed because I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? The notice that you gave me said I can go back to work on Tuesday because I would get the results on Monday. Now you're telling me that you're sorry and that maybe you guys got tied up or whatever it is. I understand that, but come on, you have a job and don't tell somebody you're going to call them at a certain time and never do that. So I was annoyed with that. Whatever, let it go. So Tuesday, same thing rolls around. I called her around 11 o'clock and I said, hey, I want to know what the results were. I said, I called you yesterday and you never contacted me back, you know, or you never had the nurse contact me back. She apologized or whatever and said that she would have the nurse contact me again today. So at this point, I'm like, come on, no. We need to know what's going on right now. We need to, excuse me. So she said, unfortunately, I cannot disclose. Oh, focus. There we go. So she said, unfortunately, I cannot disclose that information. She said, but I will have the nurse contact you today at some point. I said, okay. All right. So time rolls by, and still nothing. Yes, okay. So I'm sorry, I was thinking. I was like, wait, did they contact me that day Tuesday or was it Wednesday? But it was Tuesday. It was late around 3:30, 4:30 on Tuesday that I got a phone call. And before that time, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's not serious because if it's something serious, they're not going to be calling you this late or taking this long to get back to you to tell you what you have, right? So I was like, maybe it's not serious. I got the phone call. I answered it and she was like, hi, Mr. Phoenix. I said, hi, yes, this is him. She said, I have some news for you. She said, all your blood work came back. And I just wanted to know if you were in a quiet area to talk. Bruh. What you mean, am I in a quiet area to talk? What do you mean, am I in a quiet area to talk? yes, I'm in a quiet area to talk, but maybe I don't need to be in one because, you know, me, myself, and my eye and my thoughts, when we get together sometimes and we get bad news, it ain't a good thing. It's not a good thing. So, you know, maybe it's not, maybe I need to go around people, you know, but yes, I'm in a quiet area to answer your question. What's going on? She said, I have some news for you. She said, it's disappointing news, but, she said, I have to tell you that you have an STD. I have a who? I have a what? Who? Me? Me? No, this can't be right. Y'all tested wrong. No, y'all tested wrong. No, this is ringworm. Dude, this is ringworm. This is not an STD. This is ringworm. You know what's crazy? So I'm trying to make light of the video, but the more I talk about it, the more angry I'm getting inside. Like I'm more just very angry. Like I can just scream right now, but I'm just trying to just focus on the positive. So she tells me I have an STD. I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. So she starts talking and she says, you have syphilis. And now all these thoughts are running through my mind as she's talking, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't even remember anything she said because I'm thinking my own thoughts at this point. How the hell do you have an STD? That doesn't make any sense. The last time that you had sex with somebody was over a year ago. Why do you have an STD? How did you get an STD? Right? So she says that, she starts to explain what syphilis is or whatever. I'm not going to get into it. But, she tells me that it occurs normally 30 to 90 days after you've had contact with that person sexually. I haven't had contact with anybody. And you know what's crazy? Because people, they be judging you. They low-key inside their head be judging you. And not that I really care. You could think whatever you want. And I don't care if this is the fact that I came on here to make the video. And I'm making the video for several reasons, which is why I'll get into that a little bit later. But she's probably judging me in her mind and thinking, dude, this mother F is fast. Dude going around effing everybody, and that's what he gets, you know? But that's not the case at all. So I asked the question, I said, I told her, I said, I haven't had sex in over a year though. Why do I have this? Or how would I get this? You know, you sure that's right? And she was just like, you know, sometimes the disease can lie dormant in your system for years, you know, without you showing any actual bodily symptoms. She said, so maybe now it just decided to come out. She said, but, you know, you have this. We ran the test, and the tests are accurate. You have it. I said, okay. So now I'm silent. And I'm thinking again, I'm like, so is this something that I'm going to have to live with for the rest of my life? All these thoughts go to my mind, like, man, I wanted to have children. I wanted to have kids. Who the hell's going to want me now with an STD? Who's going to want me? You know, who's going to want me? So she tells me that it's 100% curable, and that I just ought to be thankful that it is syphilis and it's not worse. She said every other test that they ran came back negative, which is also something to be happy for. So she was trying to bring me out of that state of mind that I was letting myself go in, and just let me know that there's definitely hope in that. It could be a lot worse than what it is, Mr. Phoenix. So you need to be thankful that, you know, it is what it is, and that we caught it in time, and that you did the right thing by coming to the doctor to get checked up. And she said, she explains that you really should be getting checked up every year, regardless of that, if you have sexual intercourse with people or not, you know? Just being around people in general, you know, someone could spit on you, someone could sneeze on you, and you can get something from that, you know, going to the grocery store and, grabbing the cart after someone else, don't know what they had on their hands, don't know what they're carrying inside. There's just so many ways to catch something. When you go to the barber shop, if they don't change the clipper, if they don't wash the clippers right, when someone had something that was what's the word, contagious, you can get that thing as well. So there's so many different ways that you can get something, which is why it's important that we all should be tested every year, at least 6 months to a year, because there's people walking around with everything nowadays, and this is not stuff that crosses your mind. At least this is not stuff that crossed my mind. I'm like, how, again, an STD, how am I going to get that? You know what I'm saying? How? I mean, you could get it, but you just don't think that you're going to get it. So she tells me it's 100% curable and that they need to start treatment immediately before this thing gets any worse. We're still in the early stages right now, and just to be more protective, she says. Okay, all right. So at this point, I'm like, all right, I got to hit the last person I was up with. I hit them up and I'm like, look, you're the last person that I was with, and I remember there was a point in time when you told me you had a rash. I said, and you went to the doctors for the rash, and you told me that the rash was from the laundry detergent that you was using. And the person was just like, yeah, but I ended up getting tested 3 weeks ago, and all my tests came back cleared, so I don't have it. I'm sorry that you have it. You take it for what it is, face value, but when you go deeper into it, you're like, no, I don't believe it. I really don't, but you let it go. It is what it is. You have it. It's curable. And I'm just trying to be optimistic about the whole situation. I'm trying to focus on the positive because, believe it or not, there is positive in this, and anybody who is struggling with anything like this, if you've gotten news like this that's similar to this, I'm sorry and I feel for you. This is a hard pill to swallow, but it's a lesson to be taught to be careful. And don't be afraid when you're going out there messing with the guy or with the girl or whoever you're fooling around with, to ask questions, protect yourself. And don't just listen to their word when they tell you that they're clean and that they've gotten tested. Absolutely don't listen to that. You know why? Because people lie all the time. They lie all the time. You need to protect yourself on a regular basis. Your body is your temple, and you treat it as such. So these thoughts are running through my mind, and I tell myself it could be worse, and I'm just happy that this is an STD that is curable, because what if I was told I had HIV? What if I was told I had AIDS? What if I was told I had something that doesn't go away? So I'm thankful, and I want to let anybody out there knowing that's going through something similar, that it's okay, and you're going to make it through it. And it's going to be okay. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if you live with something that you have that won't go away, or that you have to live with, then just treat it as I don't know. I don't know, but I made this video to reach out to people and just tell them that don't be the person that is caught up in something that can rescue your life, or that can alter it in a way that it changes forever. It's not worth it. No person is ever worth it. Ask the questions. If a person tells you that they're clean, you better get that paperwork to back it up, motherfucker, because let me tell you something. People lie. They lie all the time, and, no. Keep your head up. This was my story, and I just hope that I touched somebody in this video, that I opened someone's eyes up to, you can never be too sure of anything, and we all should be getting tested on a constant basis because there's so much going around and you just don't know what you can contract from anyone. Even if you're a person that likes to eat out a lot. I eat out every single day. You know how many people are preparing your food, what they carry, what they have? These people shower, are they clean? Do they wash their hands when they come out the restrooms? Even just going into public restrooms. It even just goes as far as to even inhaling certain smells that can physically harm you and get you sick. You don't know what people have. You don't know what people are carrying. So do what you need to do to care for yourself, and always, always, always get the proof. Until next time. Bye-bye, guys.